Do you know why Oedipus doesn't swear? Because he kisses his mother with that mouth. Far off across the sea, there is a place called Thebes. Well, there's actually two places across the sea called Thebes, one in Egypt, one in Greece. But we're going to focus on the one in Greece. Thebes is ruled by King Oedipus, who got a crown for killing a sphinx, who's this mythological crossbreeding project gone wrong. Essentially, the sphinx asks travelers these really difficult riddles, and most of the time they're answered incorrectly, and the travelers get killed for it. But Oedipus answered the riddle correctly, and because of it, the sphinx died, and Oedipus was crowned king. Now, before Oedipus was king, Laius and Jocasta were king and queen. Laius was killed at this place where three roads meet, and everyone was like, it's whatever, he's dead now, we need to find a new king. Hence Oedipus answering the sphinx's riddle. After Laius died and Oedipus became king, he married Jocasta and took her as his own wife. They're absolutely not related in any way, shape, or form, and this is not going to come back and bite Oedipus in the ass later. But there is trouble in paradise, and by paradise I mean Thebes, and by trouble I mean a plague. There is a plague in Thebes. Oedipus realizes that he needs to figure out the cause of this plague that is plaguing his citizens, because he's a good king and he wants everyone to be healthy. Oedipus stays at home and sends his brother-in-law Creon, who is just his brother-in-law, to find out why there's a plague covering Thebes. After consulting Apollo, who is considered to be the most Greek of all gods, Creon comes back and tells Oedipus the reason that a plague is spreading across Thebes is because the murderer of King Laius, so the guy who was king before Oedipus, hasn't been brought to justice. Now, although Oedipus seemed to answer the Sphinx's riddle with absolutely no difficulty whatsoever, he's having a very difficult time figuring out who might have murdered Laius. He also conveniently forgets any time he might have murdered a man, but that's not important. Tiresias refuses to tell Oedipus who Laius's killer is. Tiresias thinks that Oedipus is not going to take the answer well, but Oedipus tells Tiresias that he's going to be calm, cool, and collected. Then Tiresias tells Oedipus, look, you killed Laius. Oedipus is neither calm nor cool nor collected after being given Tiresias' answer, and conveniently forgetting any time he might have possibly killed a man, Oedipus assumes that this is all one big ploy by Tiresias and Creon for Creon to take over the throne and for Oedipus to leave Thebes. Oedipus casts Tiresias out, but before he goes, and sick and tired of people who just can't deal with the truth, Tiresias also says that Laius's killer is going to marry his mother and one day go blind. Which is not what you say to someone who's angry. So, Oedipus, being both a combination of furious and disgusted that somebody might marry their own mother, even though that's what happened a lot in ancient Greece and with gods and their sisters and mothers and... Anyway, Oedipus confronts Creon about this plan that he thinks he's hatching. He's about to banish Creon even after Creon has told him over and over again, dude, like, it's not that deep. Maybe you did actually just kill Laius, but Oedipus is not having it. He is about to banish Creon from Thebes until Oedipus's lovely and beautiful wife Jocasta, who is definitely not his mother, comes out and begs Oedipus to let Creon stay in Thebes. So, because he loves his wife and not mother, Oedipus decides that he will let Creon stay. Creon leaves, and then Jocasta and Oedipus have a beautiful moment of just husband and just wife private time. Jocasta tells Oedipus that once when she and Laius had a son, it was prophesied that that son would kill his father and marry his mother. Absolutely terrified of what might have happened, Jocasta and Laius decided that they would send the baby out to go die in a forest, instead of just putting it in a jar and letting it die like what actually happened in ancient Greece at that time. Oedipus was like, oh my god, wow, funny story, great, thanks for telling me. It really has no bearing on the story whatsoever, except in this lovely and beautiful, honest confession time that Jocasta and Oedipus are having. Oedipus says, wow, that is absolutely insane, because when I was younger, I received a prophecy that one day I would marry my mother and kill my father. And instead of being like, oh my god, maybe this prophecy was actually for the two of us, maybe Oedipus is my son and maybe Jocasta is my mother, they're like, huh, crazy. In true chorus fashion, the Greek chorus lingers in the background and then says some cryptic shit about people who run from their fate. Oedipus and Jocasta once again conveniently ignore the chorus, aka the only people with common sense in this show, and go about their day. Besides, it's not like there's really that much to care about. Oedipus knows that the prophecy can't be true, because his parents, Polybus and Merope, are alive and well, and, well, he hasn't married his mom, and his dad's still alive, and he definitely hasn't killed him, so everything's fine and good. Then, even more good news has arrived. Polybus is dead. of natural causes, which is amazing because then it means that the prophecy that Oedipus received could absolutely not be true. Oedipus and Jocasta are very happy to hear this news, and they know that they are definitely not related. But after the messenger has brought news of Polybus's death, he pulls Oedipus aside and tells him that Polybus and Merope aren't his actual parents. Oedipus is just like, crazy, and still doesn't put the puzzle pieces together, man. Are you kidding me? But as she hasn't been affected by inbreeding, Jocasta has a moment of clarity. Oedipus is a motherfucker. Jocasta panics and crosses her fingers and hopes and prays that Oedipus will not try and figure out who his real parents are, because now she knows Oedipus is her son, which is even weirder that she wouldn't want to set things straight, but anyway, this story is not about Jocasta. The shepherd that originally took Jocasta and Laius's baby has come clean and has let everyone know that Oedipus is indeed Jocasta and Laius's mystery son. One half of the prophecy has come true, and after remembering that at one point Oedipus ran into a group of travelers at a place where three roads meet and killed them all, he realized that Laius was one of those people. Both halves of the prophecy have come true. In the distance, Tiresias and the Oracle clink their wine glasses together and have a drink in celebration of idiots who don't listen to prophecies. Like a level-headed, non-abusive son/husband, Oedipus decides that he is going to go kill Jocasta, but don't worry about it because she's already done it for him and has hanged herself. Instead of going to therapy like a normal person suffering with surprise incest, Oedipus takes the brooches off of Jocasta's clothes and stabs his eyes out with it, so that when he goes to the underworld, he won't have to face his parents, aka Jocasta and Laius, not his fake parents, Polybus and Merope, although it would just probably be a really weird family reunion all in all. But there is never enough jewelry to stab out the mental trauma of having children with your mother. Speaking of children, Oedipus has some of those too, and he has no idea how on earth he's gonna tell them that their mom and dad are actually mom and son, and Oedipus is also technically their brother, but also their father, and Jocasta is technically their grandma, but also their mother. Oedipus decides to leave his children with Creon, who is the children's uncle and great uncle. This family tree is pretty fucked up. Creon bids farewell to Oedipus, who goes to live out the rest of his days on an isolated mountain. The moral of Oedipus's story is actually two things. One is that you can't run from fate, and the other is that love is blind.